Party people. Hi. Welcome to my brand new series that I affectionately call DWD in GTA. Um, DWD, if you don't know, stands for Driving Without a Destination. It's a series where I go around the Grand Theft Auto 5 game, look for lots, and make lots that are, I guess, based on what I see from the outside. And this first build is a nightclub, and I'll tell you how I found it. Technically, I knew where I was gonna go when I first discovered this place, but I forgot where I was going. But I had seen it a couple times in passing because I've been playing this for a long time. So whenever I would just drive around, I would always find stuff that I liked. And it just stuck out to me because I felt like it was a nice looking area and it also looked kind of small. So my first time scouting it out for recording footage, I had to kind of figure out where I was going again because I'm not that abreast to the whole map. But I ended up finding it and I took a lot of pictures and I took them from a few angles. Like I took some in front of the lot, on the side of the lot. And I had to get a little bit creative with the angles because I was using the camera function. But after I took those pictures, I, had to rip them off the game and go into game and actually do it. So here I am just starting with the shell of the build, and I decided to take it to Magnolia Promenade because I feel like Magnolia Promenade is a place that I really wanted to start because I didn't have a lot of lots. I wasn't really that intimidated by it or anything. And I felt like the lot looked kind of small to me. So I figured I'd keep it small. And what I was doing in order to get the shape is trying to eyeball it basically because me, you don't know this about me, but I was a tracer in elementary school. Like, aren't you proud of me? I'm just like I was a tracer in elementary school, so I have like an eye for kind of like recreating things just a little bit, and I wanted to be mindful of how things looked from like a scaling point of view. So I was thinking about how I wanted the shape to be. And then with this, what is this called? I guess it's roofing, but it's like a weird kind of roofing. I had to think about how that looked because I wanted it to look kind of genuine and not just thrown together. Yeah, I wanted it to look, true to what the build actually was, but I ended up having to work with the roofing part just a lot because I wasn't getting it right and it was getting on my nerves because on top of being a world-class tracer, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I wanted it to look just right, so I had to move around and play around with it just a lot. And the roof texture doesn't stay that way because I had to play around with a lot of roof textures, but roofing is hard. I just want to say that. I wouldn't say that I'm like the best person when it comes to building and stuff like that, but I give it up to the people that really know how to do this and they really do this because I was trying my darndest. In each section, I was trying to get every detail that I could. I was struggling looking at my phone because I take pictures on my phone to match it up. Like, I'm pretty sure throughout this build, I'll be showing different pictures as a frame of reference to what I was actually doing. But I spent a good amount of time trying to get the roof right and then going up here and trying to find the right windows, the right doors. Luckily, I found the right, what's that called? Brick? Girl, where are your words? Yeah, I found the right brick. And I just really want to get the outside good because that's the only part that I could see. And the inside, I already knew that I had to freestyle it. And at this point in the DWD and GTA development, I was at a point where I was like eyeballing and freestyling everything. And later on in the series, I found a way out of that because I'm going to sound like one of those people. I am an earth sign. Ooh, I'm just playing. Shout out to the earth signs, okay? Virgos, Taurus, Capricorns. Shout out to us, okay? I feel like we like when stuff is planned out, mapped out. And that's who I am at my core. So this is me before then. So I'm stressed out just looking at myself go through it. Not this part in particular, because we're still doing the outside. But when it comes to the inside, you know, I had a kind of a rough time, but I try to cut it down as much as I can. I'm still looking through doors because even though The Sims 4 is a great tool, there's not always a frame for frame match. Not frame for frame. What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? There's not always an exact match for what exactly you want, especially when you take it out and you do it in other games. So I have to do the best with what I got. Grab some bushes, throw it off to the side. And then I started grabbing what are those? Oh, other bushes, like the wall bushes from, what's that pack called? Vampires. I started grabbing those because what I wanted to do was emulate the bushes that were around the Cockatoos Club, because I thought it was like a really, really pretty feature. So I just take as many as I can, try to make a shape out of them, even though they're like literally boxes. But I didn't want to skip out on that detail because I want to keep the outside or the facade of each building as true to form as possible, since I don't really have much of a frame of reference for the inside. And since I did it on a 20 by 20 lot, I didn't have that much time. Since I did it on a 20 by 20 lot, I didn't have that much space, boom, vocabulary, to do a proper parking garage. And I didn't want to use any of the bigger spaces because I feel like Sims don't park anyway. So if they're not parking real cars, what's the point in me doing a real parking lot? But I still wanted to have something. So I moved the lot back, as you saw earlier, and I made some space just to put some cars. Keep in mind, though, that I will change my mind a few times during this build. But the thing is, I change my mind a lot, which is why I like planning, which I don't do in this episode, and I'm a little bit ashamed of, just a little bit, but I'm working on it. I found a sign. I think I kept that sign. That's like a permanent signage right there. And I decided to do a little bit of the, I guess, area off to the side. I don't know what the heck to call it. My vocabulary is gone right now. It's like a poor excuse for what's actually in game. It was actually in GTA is like a bigger space, and the sign is above there. But I wanted to make it look as nice as possible because, like I said earlier, there really ain't much space to do a whole lot. And it doesn't make sense if there's no cars because, you know, we don't have cars or functioning cars. Oh, with this part, all I did was I changed the height of the flooring, I think, to make it a little bit taller. And then I just readjusted the grass and stuff. Still working on the outside. I had a lot of fun with this build, I want to say. I want to be sure to mention that part. It took a long time, like several days to do this, but I think it takes me a long time to do everything because I am a perfectionist. But I wanted to be mindful of every little detail. Am I done with the outside? It looks like I might be. So I started working on the inside, and the inside goes through a lot of changes. A lot. And I tried to cut down on them as much as I could. But you can see me putting up a sign right here, trying to figure out an archway. Because when I took pictures of the cockatoos, I saw that there was a brick thing on the inside, and there was a sign. So I wanted to make sure to include that part because that's the last part, actually really the only part of the inside that I could see. And I'm just trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with the inside. This is the part where it gets a little chaotic for me because, baby, I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing, but I'm trying my best. And I put this floor tile up there, but then I ended up taking it away because it didn't make sense at the time. And this is just a travesty, a tragedy, if you will, because I had no ideas of what to do for the inside. I figured it would just come to me as I go. So when doing this club, I pretty much just went with that. So my first idea, Lord, was to have somewhat of a section. Because you know how clubs have sections? I was in the frame of mind to have like a section. And there I go, reframing the stuff again. You see how I keep changing my mind? Don't you just love that for me? I hate that for me. Because when you change your mind after you build the structure, you have to change everything back. And that's annoying. I started putting grass on the inside. I can't remember for the life of me if there was grass on that section. I'll put a picture in here of what I took and see if it actually had grass. If it had grass, then I feel proud of myself. If it didn't, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to charge it to the game because I don't think I ever took the grass away. But my very first idea for the club was to do somewhat of a section, like a VIP, because it made sense to me in that time. But later on, I noticed that I wasn't really liking that idea because I have to think about the space and how much space I don't have. And I didn't add a proper basement or anything because I wanted it to be small on purpose. If I'm being completely honest, only thing I really had in my brain was grown and yellow. Those are the only concepts I had in my mind for this build. Was I wanted it to be kind of grown and I wanted there to be yellow because the outside was yellow. I had no concept of if I wanted to be, a bright theme, a dark theme. I didn't think about furniture. I didn't think about whether it goes from day to night. I didn't think about none of that. I just figured I'd wing it. And wing it I did. And that's why it took me 11 days. I don't remember exactly how many days. I feel like it was probably 7 days total, which is obviously too long for this little baby tiny club, but something around there. So I thought to put a bar on the side, have some tables. It's looking like prison. If I can be completely honest, it's looking like prison. And I don't like it. And as you can see, in my brain, I could tell I didn't like it either. So I started to make some changes and I decided to use the platform tool, see if I can elevate the VIP section, because I won't let this VIP section die. In my brain, I wouldn't let it die. I wanted to have something separating one part of the club from the rest of the club. And those are the bathrooms. I had it off to the side, but I didn't like it being over there. So I decided to move them to around the entrance, because it doesn't make sense for you to have to go around the club just to get to the toilet. And imagine you on the dance floor, you shaking your cheeks and somebody's right there next to the toilet. So you got booty and dookie air wafting through the club. Does that make sense to you? It don't make sense to me. So I had to get rid of it. So I moved it around to the entrance to make more of a separation. And I was trying my hand at different dance floors, but it was looking so tacky to me. That's why I keep looking around. I don't like the way it looks. And I don't know why I was playing with dirt. I was trying to put, what's this? Baby, my vocabulary. Curtains. I was trying to put curtains up to test out what curtains I liked. Because in the picture of Cockatoos, which of course I'll put in, there was a section that had white curtains on both sides. So I was trying to look for the proper amount of white curtains, but honestly, it was a little bit too early for me to do that. So I started messing around with other things like lights and stuff like that. I hope you don't mind me talking this much. I would have added music, but for me, I'm getting off topic now. I like to make videos that I feel like I can sit through. And for me, I can't sit through a video with just music going and the build just going. I can't sit through that personally because I feel like I'll get bored and I'll leave, or I'll just keep scrubbing. So, I want to talk through it because I feel like it'll be more enjoyable for me to sit through. So I hope you guys don't mind. Now I'm going through this stuff, trying to figure out if I want to put tables, if I want to put a proper section. It's still in my mind. I want to do a proper section. And I believe at this point I was testing out the dream home decorator stuff because I didn't really get a chance to use it that much at that time. Seeing if I could do like 2 sections, trying to be cool and stuff. But you see how cramped it is? I feel like when the spaces are small like this, you have to kind of be smart with how you place everything. And it doesn't even feel like a club. Like you see the brick on brick feels like you're in like a halfway house, like you're in prison. And I don't like that. I really don't like it looking back at it. I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to make it like a indoor to outdoor transition. And that is very possible to do, like indoor to outdoor transition. But one, it doesn't make sense with this club because this club is not an indoor outdoor club. It's just an indoor club. And 2, if you're going to do it, you can't put gray on gray. That's so drab. That's why I keep looking around, because I don't like it. So I'm playing around with bricks or wallpapers and stuff like that, but I'm going to be playing around with them throughout the whole build. But at this point, I wanted something that was kind of like inspiring. I think I kept the brick throughout, but I just kept changing colors. But I needed something that felt a little bit more inspiring, something to make the space feel a little more open. But I still don't know what I'm doing. So I'm still going through dance floors, even though I don't like them. I even closed off one part to make it a VIP. And baby, I don't know what I was thinking, because the VIPs, I feel like in my brain, even though I've never been to a club, a VIP section should have the works. It should have, seating, place for drinks, a little place to dance or something. That wasn't working. So I cut that off and I decided to redo this whole scheme because it wasn't making sense. So for the moment, I decided to let go of the VIP section and try to just do something with what I had. And I decided, right before that moment, to bring the grass or greenery element to the inside of the club because, I wasn't feeling the outdoor to indoor thing, but I do like the idea of having grass on the inside and the outside because, it almost feels jungle-ish. Jungle-ish. That's not a word, but it's a word right now. It feels jungle-ish. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to make the place feel more like open concept instead of having like a VIP section. So I decided to make like one of those walls that they have at the salons. Like, how those IG stylists have those walls? I decided to do that. I play around with the floors a lot. So I may have this floor now. I may have another floor later. I do not remember. I did this a long time ago. Then I played around with the bars, trying to think of a different color scheme. But like I said before, I'm winging it. I'm winging everything at this point. Trying to figure out what makes sense to me. So I just move stuff everywhere. But I'm still sticking with the idea of doing grass and greenery. It's not grass, it's greenery, shrubbery, bushes. Yeah. I'm still stuck with the idea of doing that because I feel like I love that idea. I really, really do. And I'm testing out different tables and chairs, trying to see what I like. Since I had already started using the spa day bar, I wanted to see what the tables look like. I don't think I ended up keeping those tables, but it's all right. Yeah, I didn't end up really keeping the tables. Oh, actually, I switched the chairs out and kept the tables for now. And I went outside and started doing this. You see how I'm all over the place, right? So there was this cute little brick detail outside of the windows. I'll show you a picture. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to emulate it, but I found these stone path thingies, I guess, from Jungle Adventure. And I decided to use those to line the outside of the window. Lord, vocabulary. Now, one secret, I don't know if I kept it. I probably didn't. I tried my best to use the tool mod to turn that thing off to the side to try to cover it all the way around, but it just would not work. I don't know what the heck EA did with this for me to not be able to turn it to the side, but I could not turn it to the side. And it grinded my gears because I spent a good hour trying to figure that out. So what I'm doing now is I switched it to nighttime because unbeknownst to me, apparently the windows light up at night. And I only knew that because I looked this club up online to see if anybody had done it. And there was somebody, I can't think of their name right now, but if I find their name, I'll leave their name up. They did their own version of the Cockatoos Club, which doesn't look like mine. And they had pictures of the windows being a different, they had pictures of the window being lit up at night because they had a night view. And apparently it's like that in game as well. I think I saw it on Google. So I decided to put lights off to the side to give it that effect of it being lit up at night. So since I couldn't turn those stones to the side, I decided to find these bars. I don't know what the heck they are. I don't even know what pack they're from, but I decided to line the bottom of it with that and just fix it so that it looks kind of nice. Because honestly, that's the best I could do because I didn't want to leave them stones off to the side that look so nice and have nothing to blend it in with the middle. And what you see me doing now is fixing it so that it lines up pretty much perfectly. I told you, like, I'm a perfectionist. So I wanted it to look really, really nice, or as nice as I could make it. Because, like I said earlier, I'm trying to make it as close to the outside as I can make it, given the restrictions of what The Sims 4 does. So I spent a good amount of time working on that, and I don't regret it because it would have chapped my hide if I didn't do it correctly. All right, so I'm finally back on the inside, and I got the bright idea the next day to actually do a stage because it wasn't feeling like I wanted to be. I wasn't liking the idea of it being like a full-on nightclub. So I decided to add a stage, and this is like my favorite part right here. Like, let me shut my mouth, right? Be a little more quiet because I was testing out lighting, right? And I wanted it to feel kind of like a loungy nightclub where maybe like an old school jazz band or soul band comes and they do like a jam session or something like that. Now, I wish we had like a proper setup with drums and a bass or something like that for it to feel more adult. But I was really liking that idea. So instead of it being like a nightclub where you dance, like dance, I was thinking of it as more of a loungy nightclub. Think Goofy Movie 2, if you've ever seen Goofy Movie 2. So I decided to, implement a stage in the corner for the house band to go off. And you have like two background singers. You got a drummer, you got a keyboard player. Like we're going to assume that since there's no drum, that there's a drum machine programmed into the piano. Yeah, and every week, on what's the day that adults week? Would I say Friday night? You know what? I'll say Saturday. No. I'll say Friday night after work, they come to Cockatoos to, have themselves a brew. Or what do adults drink? Like grown adults. What do they drink? Sherry, Merlot. Yeah, like their Merlots and their brandies and whatever they drink. And they come, sometimes they might bring their work friends and have themselves a ball, with the I don't know, Ray Chu and the house band. And they have, fun with their coworkers, sit around, talk about how their weeks suck, and, reminisce on old times. Because it was starting to feel more adult instead of young adult. So this ain't the place for, I don't know. Let me think of a name. Okay, this ain't a place for Chanel, Armani, Dior to go find somebody to sponsor her, unless she's looking for like a Cletus or a Willie Earl, something like that. But I'll say she'll look out of place. So Chanel, Armani, Dior, Fendi is not gonna have a great time at this club because they're not gonna play like hip hop music or anything like that. They're gonna play oldies. They're gonna play like Smokey Robinson or Rick James, somebody of the older variety. And I keep on going with the grass theme because I'm just in love with the idea of putting grass. I think if ever I can make like a house that's earthy, I'm gonna have grass all over because I really like the idea, because I feel like it just feels different. It feels different because I'm trying to elevate the space in any way that I can. And at this point, I decided to switch around the lights and the hardware. I decided to add this effects machine from Get Famous because I wanted to elevate the area. Because what I imagine is, I'm looking at like me working on the windows, but let me continue telling you. So my idea is that while the house band is playing, they could have somebody on effects, like, I don't know what the name of an effects person would be. Like, I don't know, Jeff, George, Rita, whoever could be on effects is going to be off to the side, and they can add different effects to the machine to elevate the performance, even though they're performing, jazz oldies or whatever. Maybe, money falling out the sky or something. I feel like somebody from the 60s and the 70s and maybe the 80s had some music that could, make you feel like you want to throw money out the sky. I feel like that. Yeah. So that's like the purpose of the effects machine for me. By the way, I'm not done with putting the grass up on the wall. Not near done. It's not going to be like all full of grass, but I wanted it to feel sporadic. And I wanted to add decorations off to the side as well. Because I don't want it to just be blank. And I got rid of that last little piece of cobblestone too, because I didn't like it. Bathrooms, I didn't do too much. Restrooms, I didn't do too much. So I just, switched around the, type of toilets to make it a little bit more fancy, because it is brick. And only so much you could do with brick. Wanted to make sure you have your soap on hand so you're not stink, Wash your hands, people. And when you use toilet paper, make sure you, use a thick roll. Don't leave that, don't leave the toilet paper balls lying between your booty cheeks, please. Please. Don't let it follow you home. Don't let it follow you home. So I was playing around with the flooring and stuff in the bathroom. Wasn't too much to do in there though. I decided last minute to add a karaoke machine because with there being a house band, house bands aren't there every night. At least I don't. Well, they just might be, but just in case you don't want to, I put a karaoke machine there. So now I was working on the first edition of the sign, because the actual sign in Cockatoos is like an actual cockatoo. And I'm not that good at the tool mod yet enough to actually replicate a cockatoo. And I wouldn't even know what it takes to actually get like a real looking cockatoo, because you have to look at it in a different way in order to get that kind of stuff to work. But this is my first attempt at the sign. And I thought it looked okay. Just okay. Oh, and I didn't even mention that I added the this little fencing. I think there's fencing in the actual game, but it escapes me right now because I don't have the pictures on hand. Oh, and I also put these white pool pieces up on the windows because there was that feature on the windows in GTA 5 as well. But I had it like rested in between the windows, like in the glass. Yeah, it was in the glass. So on top of the dining tables, I decided to put in some chairs, and you can see people walking around because I was actually trying to play test it while I was doing that. But don't get used to that because I'm not good at play testing. I get too lazy. I don't feel like play testing all the time. So I think this was my last time putting the what is this? Jeez, floor glass. That was my last time putting the floor glass in. And I think I kept it that way because I wanted to keep light flowing into the space. And I decided to put my last round of shrubbery, greenery, grass, leaf patches up. And I found this little sign with a bird. Now, it's like a parrot. It's a parrot, but, for all intents and purposes, we're going to pretend it's a cockatoo. There was no white swatch, so there's nothing I could do about it. But I decided to, do a parrot because I feel like that brings in the idea of there being like a cockatoo. Oh, also, I put that karaoke machine in the basement just for whenever I need it. So if ever you want to do a karaoke night, just go in the lot and bring it back up. Yeah, bring it back up. And then when you're done, put it back. Oh, I lied. I have more shrubbery and greenery on the outside. Oh, this is the last part right here where I put in the description. But let me read it off to you because I took a picture, okay? Because I can't type. So the description goes, grab your boo and head on over to Cockatoos. Let me start over. Grab your boo and head on over to Cockatoos. Cockatoos is an adult nightclub designed for the seasoned adult that's too tired to pop their rear ends like a rubber band, but are too young for bingo nights. This lot is an interpretation of the Cockatoos Nightclub in GTA 5 and is part of my Grand Theft Auto series. I hope you enjoyed. XO, AprilBaby321. So at this point, I'm finished with the build, and I'm pretty satisfied with it at this point. It's been a lot of talking, but I really hope you enjoyed yourself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm really excited to get this out to you all because I want to, bring more content to this channel. And if you're interested in seeing more of this, let me know in the comment section. I think at this point, I'll just add in some pictures. And yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have more builds on the way. If you want them, please tell me you want them. So, all right, guys, I will see you next time. Bye.